Hello everybody! It's been 3 weeks since Farm Together 2 released into early access, and I have been blown away by how magically captivating and utterly relaxing this game is. I have since poured 98 hours into Farm Together 2, and the developer team has released 13 update patches and an early access roadmap. So today I'm going to share 5 new beginner tips I've discovered, a dozen of the most interesting updates since launch, and a peek at what's to come for the next year of Farm Together 2. Let's start things off with 5 new tips for Farm Together 2. Number 1 is going to be the fast travels, which is what I am standing in front of. Now, I have never played Farm Together, the original game, so I really didn't understand this completely. I just assumed that wherever I put a fast travel, I would need to go to the fast travel and interact with it and then use it to travel to any of my other 11, actually I have 13 fast travels here, but that is incorrect. So as long as you have a fast travel, you can be anywhere on the map, pull up your map, and then you can use its D-pad on controller, I'm not sure what it is on keyboard and mouse, but you can travel to any of the other fast travels that you have purchased anywhere on the map. So you don't have to go to the fast travels in order to use them. Maybe that's a no-brainer to those of you who've played Farm Together, but I didn't know. Number 2 is going to be compass and inventory. If you go into your settings and then interface, down on the bottom here, you can turn on a compass, and then you can also turn on-screen inventory. And when we go back, you will notice immediately on the bottom of the screen, you have the inventory of all of your crops, and it does seem to kind of rotate because I don't think it has enough room for all of them. So normally I would have to press the button on my controller to bring this up, and I really don't have a problem doing that. But if you want to have the inventory on your screen so it's easier to see, like right now I see that I am full on spices and need to go and sell, you can do that. And then the other one that honestly I think is more helpful is going to be the compass on the top of your screen. And this isn't so important on your own farm because you get to know your own farm kind of like the back of your hand, right? So you know where you're going. But where this comes into play as being incredibly helpful is when you are visiting someone else's farm. You pull up this map and you can kind of see where you are and you kind of see where you want to go, but then you close the map and you easily become disoriented. But if you know that you need to go to the northeast and you have this compass pulled up, it is very easy to do that. So compass and inventory are my second tips. Tip number 3 has to do with these bushes. You can purchase these for 120 gems, and it calls it a bush sculpture. Now, I've just assumed this was the bush that you got, and that was that, but I am wrong. You can go up to the bush, and at the bottom right of the screen, it says to customize. Interact with the bush. You can change it into a pig, a cow, or a chicken. Look at that. And it doesn't cost any money to keep changing it. It's super cute. And while we're on the topic of this customizable bush, that brings us to the next tip, and that is going to be your variants. If you open up your shop, down at the very bottom, some of the items show variant, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3, and it took me a while to find this, but if you press your variant button, you can see that there is more than one item. Sometimes it changes the color, sometimes it changes the shape, such as this stone. You have different items you can put on the campfire. And then for your customizable bush sculpture, you can make it green, pink, or white. Those are the current variants. So you could have a pink pig bush sculpture. That is super cool, isn't it? So anytime you're looking at an item, look on the bottom and see if there's a variant. There's not one for this one. There's currently not a variant for the bench, but I would imagine that would be coming. The barn, if you're wondering how people are making these different color barns, that is how. And the same for the bridges. There are 3 different color bridges currently. It is really easy to miss that at the bottom, so anytime you're looking at an item, double check the bottom and see if it has a variant. It's just another way to express yourself, and I love the customizations. And tip number 5 has to do with your map, and I do need to give credit to YouTuber The Ginger Empire for this tip. If you open your map, first of all, make sure that you're zooming out. especially if you have a larger farm. But I didn't realize at first that there is a reason some of the items are colored yellow. For example, up at the top, I have some flower items that are yellow and there are dots in them. So if they're green and they have dots in them, that means they are ready to harvest. But if they are yellow and have dots in them, they are a quest item and they are ready to harvest. This is super handy so that, for example, if I am way up here and I see down at the very bottom of my farm that I have some cows, actually those are my Holstein cows, that I need to go and harvest because I see that yellow, I can use the quick travels, I can travel across my farm and I can easily get to my quests and do what I need to do. It just makes you a bit more efficient, but honestly, that is probably the biggest tip that I can give a beginner in Farm Together too, is to use that map to see what quests, and there we go, we got it complete. See what quests you have to do and what is ready to harvest. It is just a spectacular feature and a huge time saver. And here are some of the highlights of the things that have been updated since the early access launch of Farm Together 2. Most recently, we have been given peppercorns. Look at these peppercorn plants. I mean, don't look too closely because, I mean, what does that look like? It's a little bit sus. Here is the black peppercorn. This is what you will get first. And when you harvest this, you get the spices. I think that's what it is. And that is incredibly awesome. I will show you in a little bit. And then the next one that I unlocked was the green peppercorn. And down at the very bottom, we also have 2 more peppercorn varieties once you level up the other ones. So 4 new peppercorns. Next, there were just 3 new shops added to the town. One is going to be an arts and crafts shop, we have a restaurant, and then an art gallery. So this is the arts and crafts shop. You can finally turn in your wool for diamonds. This is what you get when you grow bamboo, and you probably had it coming out of your ears because until now there really wasn't a whole lot you can do with it except for maybe use it in your house to craft some things. So that is the arts and crafts shop. We have the restaurant, and this one for me is huge because I need all the metals I can get because I'm using them for sprinklers on all of my fields. And any of your crops that are going to give you the spices, you can turn them in here for easy metals. It takes 100 spices and that will give you 2 metals each. And I just got 4 metals for my spices. The cinnamon trees give you spices, and there are some other things too. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then you can also cook in your house, and all of those can be turned into metals as well. But I really think the cinnamon trees and I think maybe one of the mangoes give you the spices, and those are just awesome for metals. And then the third new shop that we have is going to be the art gallery. I haven't opened it yet, so let's go ahead and do that. It is going to cost 15 metals, and now you can trade your music and your art. We are going to build it. Let's take a look at it. And this one, you can also trade your art and your music for the metals. That is fantastic. Another update is the Farm Together 2 team has just received official Steam Deck verification. So if you want to play Farm Together 2 on the Steam Deck, you don't have to guess anymore if it's going to work right. It will. And honestly, I can vouch for it because my husband has been playing Farm Together 2 on the Steam Deck. He's taken it to work. He's been playing it on breaks and I can join him. He's actually a farmer in real life. So when he's not working his day job, he is farming in real life, but it works on Steam Deck. It runs great and is just a portable way to play the game, which is awesome. Next, we have 4 new trees that have been added since launch: clove, 2 variations of cinnamon, and quince. The clove tree, that's the other one that you get spices for. Clove trees, and actually it's part of a quest that I have going. The clove trees look fantastic. They are really pretty. And then the cinnamon look like this. This is one variation of the cinnamon. This is my favorite. That's the cassia cinnamon tree. And then this is the other one right here. It is not ready to harvest currently. Looking in the tree shop, this cinnamon is going to cost you $20,650 per tree, and the other one is $16,600. The quince will cost you $10,900, and then the clove tree way up top is $12,650. And here are the quince trees. They're a lot like the lemon tree, and when they are ripe, it is just a vibrant yellow fruit, and they are really pretty. And then for the animals, we have had cows added. They were added really quickly to the game. There are 6 different variants on the cow. I have all but one unlocked currently, and I kind of like to mix them together, as you can see, because I think they look so pretty together. And I love their bells, their mooing, and their animations are so cute because look how they're all doing different things. You have some sleeping, some moving around, sorry. And they're just so adorable. And another thing I like about the cows is when you place them down, notice how the substrate stays the grass instead of going to the dirt like when you add the chickens. See how much prettier that looks than with the chickens and the pigs? I really wish there was an option to keep the grass under the chickens and the pigs, but the cows are probably my favorite animal currently, and I can only imagine what other animals they're going to add. We're actually going to get to that a little bit later. A couple new fruits that were added since launch are the strawberry here, and then we have the glorious pine berry, the cross between the strawberry and the pineapple. I've never tasted one of these in real life, but they look adorable, and I especially love them next to those flowering cherry trees because it kind of picks up the pink in this little blossom flower here. They're so cute. Picnic tables were also added, and they come in 3 different colors. There have also been some adjustments to the camera. Instead of 2, you now have 3 distances. This is the close-up. You have the mid-range here, and then my favorite, the one that is all the way zoomed out, just lets you have a wide field of view, which is handy when you're looking at your fields. And I believe they did make some adjustments to how far out this camera zooms as well. So you have 3 cameras now, and that is great. Since it is raining, that brings us to our next change. Rain will now very slowly water your crops. So if you have crops that need water but you don't have sprinklers on them like I do with these flowers here, and it's raining, it will ever slowly help to replenish their hydration. For the license plates, the devs have given us more freedom in what we put on the plate. You still only get 3 digits, but when the game first launched into early access, you could only put 2 letters in one number. And now you can do all letters, all numbers. Now there is a profanity filter in place. I tested it. But you now get a little more freedom in how you express yourself on the license plates. The next change has affected the cutscene when you enter your farm or someone else's. Take a look. There's a new animation and a different sound as well. And finally, the last major update that has been added to the game since launch is going to be approximately 30% reduction in what it's going to cost you for a new plot. So this plot is $8,900, but remember this is going to increase every time you buy a new plot. But the good news is it's going to cost you fewer diamonds now, about 30% fewer than originally. But wait, there's more. I have 2 late edition updates that just rolled out as I was making this video. The first is going to be this sweet shop here now deals in metals instead of diamonds, and also grapes and nuts were removed because they are also sold in the other shop. So for now you just have 2 items, but you can exchange them for metals. But even more exciting, and I have been waiting for this, we have new outdoor lighting. Previously, we only had this brick fence that had the lighting, and then this kind of a dusty turquoise street lamp. But now we have 3 more. Down here, we have the smart lanterns, and they have 3 variants. Those are so modern. Oh my gosh, they pop up. I love those. If you have a modern farm, those are amazing. I think we're going to try out these right here. So let's take a look at how they look. Look at those. Those are great. And now let's try the other ones. These are garden lights. Oh, those are nice. Look at the variants, kind of a yellow. Let's go with the dark one since we did that with the other one. Let's try the dark variant. That's going to be our garden lantern. And then our final new one right here, kind of a traditional LED lantern. That's variant 1. Variant 2, again, kind of the golden accents like the others. And then variant 3, that's going to be your dark one. Let's try that one. I am going to have so much fun with these. I can't decide which is my favorite. When they first turn on, I'm thinking these right here are going to be animated, but I think this one right here has the most traditional kind of a vintage look, so that's probably my favorite. But I still like these because these add a bit of height and you can make nice corners, kind of nice borders with those. But if you're just lining a path, this new lighting is just amazing. And finally, we have the content roadmap for what we can likely expect in the coming year for Farm Together 2. The burning question on everybody's minds, let's jump ahead to next spring. So a year from now, they anticipate having their 1.0 release. And probably the burning question on a lot of minds, especially if you're on Nintendo Switch, we have the console version expected to come in about a year. Now, let's jump back to summer. This is going to be coming soon, and probably the one I am most excited about is the co-op rewards. The big issue right now, I think, is there aren't many people visiting farms, at least in my experience. I have played for about 100 hours, and I always have my farm online and public. And I think I've maybe had about 5 people visit me. So right now, I know everyone's busy working on their own farms, and I've had a few nice people pop in for one reason or another. They just want to help me out. They want to look at my farm for ideas. But I think when we have rewards, when people can get a buff, when they get something in return for going and helping somebody, other than being altruistic, they want something in return, right? That is just human nature. So those co-op rewards are coming. We also have production buildings. Having never played Farm Together 1, I'm really not sure what those are, but it sounds exciting. We have new town shops, new crops, animals, trees, ponds, new decorations, new customization items. All of the crops, the shops, the decorations, the new items, the animals, that is going to be trickling in throughout the summer, the fall, the winter, and the spring. So we can expect fresh new content on a regular basis. And I am so excited for that because I don't want my hype for Farm Together 2 to die down, because other than Pal World, this has been my favorite game for probably the past 2 years. I have not been more excited about another game. If we jump ahead to fall, we have farmhands, events, and new quests. Winter, we're going to have a new carving job, as well as some town customization. I'm excited for that because the town part is new for Farm Together 2, and it's kind of empty and very spacious. I mean, you have the quests you can do, and you can sell your items in the shops, but I think there is just so many opportunities the team has to add things to the town that bring fresh new variety to the game. So I'm excited to see what that is all about. And then if we go to spring, we have pets. That could be a really cute addition to the game. Trains, I don't really know what they mean by that, but it sounds exciting. A new harvestable, and then like I mentioned, we have the 1.0 release and the console versions anticipated to come. So there you have it, the roadmap for the coming year in Farm Together 2. All the updates that we've had in the past few weeks, and some new tips to help you out if you don't know them already. Like I said, I am just blown away by how mesmerizing and addicting Farm Together 2 is. I was so wrong about this game. I thought it reminded me of Heyday. I thought it would just be kind of a cheesy mobile-like game, but it is not. And what I love about Farm Together 2, in addition to it being cozy, it is very relaxing. You have constant motivation to do things because of the quests and these new items that they are trickling out in the updates, just like the lighting that came out today, because now I have new things to do. There's always something to do in Farm Together 2. And the togetherness aspect, for me, it really helps with FOMO, fear of missing out. You want to be together, you want to be with people, yet you enjoy the chill experience, and being able to open up your farm to friends who play this game and to like-minded individuals who are also playing this game, but you don't know them. You can let complete strangers on your island, you can meet new people, and you're all sharing the common interest of enjoying this cozy farming game. And not to mention just the fabulous graphics. It is such a bursting dose of serotonin And I truly cannot think of another game that has made me feel the same way. And I just am crossing my fingers and hoping that the team does deliver on these updates. And I think they will, because judging from what happened with the first Farm Together and everything that they kept putting out, they are dedicated to this game, and that will help keep it fresh for everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this video on Farm Together 2 tips, news, updates, and the roadmap. If you like the game, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to be extra nice, drop a like and comment below if you have anything to add about news and updates and tips that I might not have covered in this video. And I thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you in Farm Together too.